Hello guys, how are you doing? My name is Shi. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. With me here is...
My name is Steve.
Yes.
Thank you for subscribing to our YouTube channel and watching our videos that we usually post. And today we are introducing you to the part 2 of the previous video. Enjoy watching it as you subscribe to the channel. Thank you very much.
Of which he gave me, I think those were dead promises, but to me they were promises which were to be. He promised to give me a job within after some time, of which I waited until the end of the time. It didn't come to pass. It didn't come to pass. So in that time, actually another position emerged, the cleaning position. Cleaning position. Now, here is an accountant cleaning. I used to be paid 300 shilling a day. So at the end of the week, not 300, 150 shilling a day. That was my salary. I was supposed to report in the hotel at 10 a.m. I leave at 10 p.m. My salary was 150 a day. So at the end of the week, because I was a casual laborer, I used to be paid 900 shillings.
900 shillings.
That is a week.
On Saturdays.
On Saturdays. So at Saturday, my take home was 900. At least it wasn't that bad, though it was. It wasn't that bad because I wasn't spending on food. I used to eat both lunch and supper in the hotel. I didn't spend in transport. It was a walking distance from High Ridge. You remember High Ridge to Westlands? It was a walking distance. Yeah, it wasn't that bad. So 900 every week. Now I could manage to pay my rent and at least buy 1 or 2 clothes at the end of the month. I worked there for a period, but I think there was a manager. I don't know. Yeah, he was a manager who was kind of despising me because I have good papers. You can see my high school. I've performed very well. I have done CPA, of which I've performed very well. Now he was kind of despising me, and every time there was that bunch for a cleaner. You see, a cleaner, you could clean the wall, also the surfaces, then you make sure that every time the toilet is clean, because you see it's an Indian hotel and there are those Indians who used to flock there, and every time they could get into the toilet, maybe someone is washing his hands, the water spill all over, you have to ensure that water is dry, the floor is dry. Now there was that bunch, the cleaner bunch. Actually, even today, up to date, that bunch is in my house. It's a memory. He used to ensure that bunch, at least everybody could see that I am a cleaner. It shouldn't overturn. It should be on the front side. As in, everyone should see that I am a cleaner. And he used to despise me, and he used to treat me badly against the other people. But I used to take it easy. And I used to pray very hard. For those who are Christians, prayers do work.
Yes.
I used to pray very hard, and it was difficult for me. Actually, you find you are being mistreated, as in you are not the only cleaner, but you are the one who is supposed to be. You have the role of everything, almost everything, as far as cleaning is concerned. I did my job. I did that job. I worked for a period of 3 months. 3 months in that hotel. It was 3 months. And in that course of time, there is Ben cousin, cousin to my friend, who invited me to Nairobi. He came all the way from Juba, Southern Sudan. Yeah. He was coming for his annual leave. Now, the moment he came and visited his cousin. Now, in the one-to-one conversation and chatting, I requested him whether he can find anything in Juba, wherever he is, even if he gets a cleaning or any kind of job. I was ready to move. We agreed, and then he went back after his leave. Remember, it's in the due course of the 3 months before I was, by the time I was still a cleaner at that Westlands Hotel. I won't mention it by its name. The moment he went back, actually within a period of 1 week, he got an opportunity. An opportunity that he found was a storekeeping position in his former boss work. So he called me and told me that there is a storekeeping position and it's being paid ABCD. I told him that I'm ready to work as a storekeeper. Now he said that I should urgently do what is needful and travel to Juba, Southern Sudan.
You need a passport.
So by that time I needed a passport. Remember, I didn't know even what saving means. Remember, depending with what I used to earn. I need a passport and I also need to travel. I can't travel for free.
You need money
To travel and a passport.
And working permit.
Working permit, no. There is no working permit there. So I had to plan. Now that I didn't have any saving, I didn't have anything. I had to look for a way. I went to Nyayo House, got a temporary permit for 300 shilling. That is a temporary traveling permit, 300 shilling. Then I had to copper the fare because I had to use the bus now, Siba coach. Yeah, I had to copper the fare. I think I coppered around 8,000. Yeah, 8,000 because traveling to there it was around 4,500. There were clearance fee when you reach at the border of Uganda and Kenya, and around the border of Uganda and Southern Sudan. That is Busia and Nimri. There is that clearance fee. So I couponed 8,000, and I from a Shylock, not from anybody. So remember, the more money stayed, the more it accumulates because it has to be interested. It is under interest base. So after getting that loan, I made a haste, and then after 2 days, I started my journey.
Started your journey
to Southern Sudan.
Southern Sudan.
Now I set off.
What was the interest rate? 8,000. How much were you supposed to return?
I think it was earning at a 10% per week.
10% per week.
10% per week on accumulatively. So I think while I was paying, I paid around 14,000. By the time I was paying, I paid 14,000. Actually, it was almost the double the cost of what the amount that I acquired. But at least I can't complain. I couldn't complain even. Now I travel to Southern Sudan, all the way to Southern Sudan, going for a storekeeping job. Remember, after I left to Southern Sudan, actually I had a very stern prayer. I stood my prayer and I used to pray to God, don't let me go and suffer. Those people who pray, don't underestimate the power of prayers. Pray, because prayer is powerful. I had a very strong prayer I used to make to God, don't let me suffer. I used to remember and remind God as in what I have been through, what I used to do, what I used to pray while I was studying, where I come from, things like those, as in the hardships that I have underwent. So I went all the way to Juba, Southern Sudan, and upon reaching there, I was the first day I was accommodated by that cousin of Ben. He's a good friend of mine too. And after being accommodated, the following morning I was taken to where the job was. Upon reaching there, I was engaged by, I met the owner of that hotel. It was a hotel. I met the owner, and he started interviewing me. Actually, there is no need for papers or anything. You wanted to see my capability, my skills, my skills in the job that I'm looking for. Now he asked me some questions, whereby he asked me where I come from Kenya, And why do I think, actually the main question was, why do you think you fit for that position of a storekeeper? And my answer was outright, because I've done accounts, and you see, accounts and bookkeeping, because store you need the storekeeping is and record keeping. I'm good in that. I was good in that, and I'm good in that too. I found them, they correlate. So I answered, I've done accounts, and having account skills, I think I'm fit for that position. So he asked me, where have you worked in account? As in, have you ever worked as an accountant anywhere? I answered yes, at Manda Hotels. Remember, I'm from Manda Hotels. That's where I worked as an accountant. That is the accounts payable section. And fortunately, Kube, the Muhidin guy, has ever worked in Manda Hotels as a chef.
The one who is employing?
The one who is employing, my employer has ever worked from my former employer as a chef. So he asked me, Manda Hotels, yeah, which one? I told him head office. Because Manda Hotels is distributed all over the country. There are so many branches. Now that's the reason as to why he was asking me which branch maybe. And I told him that I was working in the head office, of which head office there is no hotel, it's just office. They are just record and everything. And do you know anybody from the head office? Yeah. By that time I still had the contacts of some individuals at Manda Hotels. I gave him the number of a certain guy. He was head of payables, and that is payables, yeah. And after giving him the number, Kube, the guy is they were friends while he was in Manda, so they are communicating like friends. Hey, I was shocked, but fortunately the guy recommended me because I had not left bad records in Manda Hotels. So he recommended me. He said that I'm a good guy, vitu kama hizo. Fortunately, getting the job actually wasn't the issue. I was going for a storekeeping job. And the reason as to why I'm talking about sprayers is, fortunately, after the guy recommended me, the guy from Manda Hotels, the moment he recommended me, I found the accounting job position was vacant too. So instead of me given the position of a storekeeper, I was given the seat of an accountant.
Wow.
You see now the power of prayers, the power of prayers. Irrespective of what you are going through, remember prayers. So I was given that position of an accountant. The salary that I was expecting, I was told that I was going to be paid, it was almost doubled. It was almost doubled. Now, I worked in that place, I worked as an accountant. I streamlined their bookkeeping, and actually the second week, the report that I presented to my boss, because everything was cut and they used to do things kienyetically, the first report that I presented to him, he was contented that I'm qualified to be an accountant. So I worked there and time progressed. After working there for some time, for a period of actually it was 9 months. After 9 months, that is when, remember I went in Juba in 2013 March. That was 2013 March. 9 months period. Now it was now past December, yeah, past December. It was January, that is, I left that job. After leaving that job, I went outside. Actually, the reason as to why I was leaving that job, I was looking for another opportunity. I was being promised of a better job. You know, everything that is on my mind is looking for a job and getting a better job, being a good employee. Now,
you were promised by him to get another job?
There is a friend of mine, you know, now I've been in Juba for 9 months. I know so many people, I have so many friends. Now I've made friends and in different organizations. Now, a friend of mine, told me that there is another position which is coming up somewhere, and you should leave that position as soon as possible. And I accepted. Now I went outside. By that time I was being accommodated by the hotel. I went outside. Now I started living in a certain Sudanese homestead. I was in that Kamatope house, vitu kama hizo. And those people who know the history of Southern Sudan, it's not a developed country, it's an undeveloped country. So I went there, and unfortunately war erupted in 2014. If you can remember those skirmishes in Juba, in Southern Sudan in general, the war erupted. Now remember, I don't have a job. The projects that I had, the money that I was getting, I was sending back home for the projects that I had. I didn't have that much savings, so the war has erupted. Actually, what you expect is that most of the investors will just run away. And the job that I was vying for, I was aspiring to get, it didn't come to pass.
Just because they have
the wars erupted. There were those skirmishes. Actually, they started in Southern Sudan, Juba. Now, ni vita sasa. Now you are relying on the little penny that you had. And to cut the long story short, it wasn't that easy to cope for a period of 3 months with no job, with no nothing, with no even much money. At times you could find yourself eating something that you cannot even imagine. At times you could walk miles away to get that relief food from the embassy, Kenyan embassy. It wasn't that easy. So a period of 3 months with no job, I was going all over, dropping my CVs, because I couldn't imagine me coming back home now to do what. Once I imagined as in the kind of jobs that I was doing here, coming back with nothing, irrespective of that I had some projects, I cannot eat those projects. I had to kukaa ngumu, lazima ningekaa ngumu. So nilikaa ngumu for the 3 months. Actually, the amount of money that I had, I managed to pay rent ya miezi 3, nikanunua mattress, yeah. So
those 3 months now in Juba.
In Juba. Now, as an outsider, now I'm not. Remember, I'm not in the hotel.
Yeah, you are not.
I'm not in the hotel. I'm an outsider now. I have looked for an accommodation outside in a Southern Sudanese homestead.
What about the guy who took you there?
The guy who took me there, now we were friends, but you know, not everybody has the heart of helping. He knew what I was going through, and not everyone who has the heart of helping, but I thank God because he did his best.
Yeah,
he did his best. He connected me to the job, and now at times nile unasikianga inafikianga point uache kuangalia your family members and stop thinking of, I have a very senior family member who is in a certain position and is going to help me one day. Shun your mind from that and start thinking about you, yourself, and God. Because once you rely on your family member, you never know that there is God. And irrespective of how much you rely on that family member, they will let you down. And no, even if at times God usually takes us through a certain path God usually say He is a jealous God. Because if Steve is my friend, he is my family member, he is in a certain position and I'm expecting him to connect me to a certain job, and that job come to pass, I will live to glorify Steve. And remember, God is a jealous God. So, and all glory should always be unto Him. That's why He must take you to a certain path, a certain wilderness, at least tuachane na my family members. You look upon Him, akupee kenye unahitaji, so that you can always glorify Him. So I tamaked for a period of 3 months. I suffered for a period of 3 months. No, it's in a foreign country. It's not like in Kenya where you can come and knock to Steve's door and at least akupea kikombe ya maji. No, in Southern Sudan, hakuna tap yenye unaweza enda kufungulia maji. You must rely on purchased water yenye ina processiwa. You have everything ni ya kununua. It's a landlocked country, as in there it's a dry country. So I suffered for a period of 3 months, and fortunately There is a place I used to go in that period of 3 months. I think the last month I used to go na naketi nakaa najapata jamaa fulani na tunamsaidia because I was good in computers by then. Namsaidia, he had a cyber, he was a Southern Sudanese, so nilikuwa namsaidia. And in the meantime, sababu I used to pray very hard, naambia Mungu asinifanye nisafe. As I came here nilikuwa nimemuomba vitu kama hizo. In the meantime, ile wiki, second week to the last year, ile miezi 3 iishe. Remember I've paid the rent of 3 months, ile rent ni kuisha inaisha. Na I don't have any other money in a foreign country. Mimi simu yangu ikaibiwa. My phone was stolen as I was going to church. Actually, I left it for charging. Remember, Southern Sudanese hakuna electricity, hakuna Kenya Power kama huko. Huko they do rely on generators. So I left my phone somewhere in a shop iendelee kucharge as I went to church. So venye nilienda kanisa, on my way, the moment I was coming back, kukuja kuchukua simu haiko. It's nowhere to be found. Remember, it's not, as I told you, it's not a developed country. It's not like Safaricom ukipoteza SIM card unaenda una replace ama Airtel ama Telcom. Remember, sasa SIM card uko ikipotea imepotea, you have to now buy another one. Remember the contact on my CV, it's my number. Now the phone has been lost. It's the end of, almost the end of the third month. Now mimi nilikuwa nimeona it's my head now. Because all those places that have dropped my CV, hata wakipiga simu, they hear it's mteja, haiendi through. Now I have to buy another SIM card. Nikashindwa now where am I headed? Nilikuwa nimeona sasa ndio mwisho wangu. But one thing I'm sure of and always confident with is that the end of human being is the beginning of God. Mimi nilikuwa nimefika mwisho wangu, but kumbe Mungu ndio naye alikuwa ananiambia ndio sasa na mimi naanzia kazi. Now it's when I'm starting my job. Now mimi nikiwa stressed, now what to do? I don't have any cash. Even I'm going for days with no food, with no water. Remember, it's a dry country. You cannot survive with no water, without water. Now wondering what to do. Me kuna ile place yenye the place I'm saying I used to go na saidia certain guy mambo ya cyber hivyo kidogo kidogo. When there is no job nilikuwa tu nakaa mahali hivi chini because I had nowhere to go. And it was a long distance. I used to walk just to go there. Mimi naenda ninaketi mahali nje. It's a highway along Ministry Road in Juba. Kumbe my former boss used to see me as he passed by. And fortunately, one of the potential employer, I think the moment alipiga simu akasikia niko mteja, alifikiria, so God's way is not human's way. Alifikiria apigie my former boss, amuulize whether he knows the whereabouts of Francis. My former boss ndiye alimwelekeza akamwambia certain place, enda place fulani kama unamhitaji. I used to find him there seated. You go and try your luck whether you find him there. God's way are not man's way. Remember, it's a potential employer. He drove all the way from wherever he drove, and he came all the way to where I used to kuketi. Fortunately or by luck, hiyo siku the guy used to help wasn't in. He requested me to come and open for him and to stand for him, that is. And I was the one in that Kasaiba. So that potential employer, the moment he drove all the way, actually he was a Kenyan, he drove all the way to that place. He asked a certain guy, do you know a certain guy who normally sits here by the name Francis? Huyo mtu akamwambia hebu muangalie hapo hivyo ndani. So I was just inside seated. I was actually helping a certain client. The moment he entered, he greeted me. Sasa Francis, I was shocked. It's someone I've never met, I've never seen, and nisalimia Francis. But for in business, you expect anything. Anyone can know you. Nikamwambia mzuri sana. He was my fellow Kenyan. Akanipata hapo hivyo, I was helping a client. Nikamuuliza how can I help you? and akaniambia he wants to talk to me. So I requested him to give me like 5 minutes nimalizie hiyo client. The moment client left, now I was left with that potential employer. And remember, it's a potential employer that I didn't know. He started narrating me the story, nimekutafuta, sikupati, nikamwelezea my phone got lost. Actually, I didn't have a phone by that time. So what he told me, he reminded me of a certain place where I went and I was interviewed by the manager. Him was the operating manager. I was interviewed by the manager and I was looking for an accounting job. So I was told that by that time the manager interviewed me. He gave me hopes for waiter position. So it wasn't accounting position. So the operation manager, when he came, he gave me the story. He gave me his card. He told me, if it's possible, today in the evening, come to that place and show the receptionist this card, and she would direct you. That's exactly what I did. I traveled and went to that place, and to cut the long story short, I was taken to wherever the reception was directed to take me, and I was taken to the financial controller. Financial controller interviewed me. He gave me the engagement letter. He told me there is an internal auditing position that's available. Internal controller. I was an internal controller. I signed the agreement letter, and actually, as I said, it was the end of the third month, and I luckily, through prayers and everything, I got a new job. I was taken by the vehicle of the company and I was brought to that hotel. The hotel is near River Nile, the River Nile in Southern Sudan. Those who have ever been to Southern Sudan, Juba. I was given that job and I was accommodated by the hotel. Now my life again started. Now I had to think twice, and there I worked for a period of I think 9 months, 10 months. Yeah, 10 months. It's called Intra-Africa Hotel, those who have ever been to Juba. I worked for a period of 10 months as an internal controller, and I was also doing purchasing for the hotel. And after that period of time, now after making a good decision, I had to resign and decided to come back to Kenya. Yeah, that was.
What was the salary?
The salary I used to be paying the 1,300 in Southern Sudanese pound.
What about?
That's around 1,300. You multiply by around 25. So you'd have at around to 28,000, something like that. But the best thing is nilikuwa nafanya purchasing, and yeah. So I decided to come back to Kenya, where I didn't go back home. Actually, okay, I just reported home and then came back to Nairobi. After the moment I came back to Nairobi, I met my friend, the one who had invited me to Nairobi, Benson. I met him now. He was residing at Waruko, along Wayakiwe, next to Kagemi, a place called Waruko. Arihama Dipsea Arihama. Now hiyo ni advanced ghetto. At least it's better than Waruko, than Dipsea. So I joined him there. I didn't go to be accommodated by him. No, now I am better off. I went and acquired a house there. I got a house which now I'm from 1,800 to 2,800 now, monthly rent. I got a house where I used to pay 2,800. Now remember, I don't have a job. Though I have some savings, I'm relying on those savings 100%. No mind which had come to me, as in I can do anything. No, my mind is full of get a good job. But now wapi hapa Kenya, you have to look for someone. Now mi nikaanzia drop CV, nikaanzia kutafuta friends, those people who can connect me. I'm still spending on what I have. Mara unasikia umeitwa mahali na nyuke for an interview, unaenda unafanya interview, you wait for the response, no response, unaenda Nyahururu, as in all over, wherever you've been invited for the interview. Now ikafikia point now nikasikia no, it has become too difficult for me. Now that's where another turnaround came. And prayers always. I was prayerful and I've been prayerful. And yeah, there is that friend of mine, whatever she is, Ferista, I salute you. Ferista, one day she invited me to town. Actually, I didn't have any experience with town in Nairobi, so I just chose to come and say hi to her. So Ferista just welcomed me to her shop along River Road, and she was very friendly to me. We are good friends. We started, I found whatever the kind of job she was doing. I started helping her. Remember, I didn't have a job. We started doing the kind of job she was doing. Yeah, and that was another turnaround of events now. Yeah.
So, mulijuana aje na Ferista?
Ferista, not all Facebook friends that are bad. Facebook, there are some of those Facebook friends that are good. Yeah, we knew each other through Facebook. Yeah.
So, now take us through what happened now between now when you joined Ferista and up to where you are right now.
Now, the moment I met Ferista, Ferista was doing a CD dubbing job. She was also doing duplicating, that is the duplicating of CDs, that is compatible discs, and some printing, minor. Yeah, now, you see now from accounts, now I've come to be introduced to another field of kind of CD music system. And it's always good in whatever the field that you get into, try to scoop something maybe the one time come to help you. Now you've seen nimekutoka kwa hiyo accounting and mambo ya paperwork, now nimekuja mambo ya another field now. Nikakuja tukasaidiana na Ferista, and we started working as in that seeding dubbing job. Me every morning maybe nakuja kona kazi, alipata kona CD like 300, namsaidia kudub, kuweka hizo whatever inlays hizi za juu, covers as in inakuwa ina serable manner. In that meantime, Ferista had a lady whom she had employed, and she had that minor knowledge, as in just sharu knowledge on issues of design and graphic and design. And in the next job, there is a certain guy who had polished very well in that design and graphics. So he used to come and help the lady in some activities, as in the lady used to ask her, how can you do ABCD? And from there I could scope something from whatever they used to study. After they are done, I used to get back into the computer and try whatever they used to do. Within a period of 3 weeks, 1 month, I had also idea of graphic and design. And in the meantime, you see, God at times can direct you to a certain path without your consent, not knowing where He is taking you. For those who are Christian, and remember even the time of Abraham, He told Abraham, just walk and go to the land that I will show you. So at times you are normally taken to that land without you knowing. I didn't know where God is taking me, and yeah, I was interested in graphics design. Remember, I am doing nothing. Actually, I was done with the mind of looking for a job as an accountant. Though, partly, I was still looking for I wanted to be engaged in a certain audit firm. Maybe I'd be given like kibarua huko, but it didn't come to be. So I am now in this graphic design music industry. I worked there, that was back in 2016. I was in 2015, 2016, yeah. I stayed there. I used to do whatever she used to do. The lady who was employed by Farista used to show me some of the things. And now I came better off in graphic and design. I started small things, doing things on my own, and by the time that lady was leaving, I could now do something that was that you could see that something has been done. As in, I could design something and see that someone has designed something, irrespective of the fact that it wasn't something that was present. I could do something that was, or you could see it, something that has been done.
Remember, you are a starter.
I am a starter. I was a starter by then. So in the meantime, the guy who was in the next door left the job. And the job that was employed in the next door, remember the guy who used to come and help that lady, he left the job. He was the kind of in charge of the operations of that place, where they used to do graphic design, they used to print primary school examinations and some other activities. So that the owner of that nini is an old mama, an old woman, and she came to my friend Farista and asked her whether she has employed Francis, and Farista said no, we do help each other. Now she sent Farista to me to ask whether I can be in charge of her office before she gets an employee. And actually I couldn't defy, because with the salary of 20,000, and I couldn't defy. I couldn't be hesitant in any way. So I accepted. Now you see, now I've come from Farista, I'm just in the next door, and just the next door. So I moved to the next door, and from there I started polishing in whatever I didn't know. You see, now there's diversity, as in they are diversified in terms of graphics. As in, a logo could be brought to you, as in you do something, you scribble something, and something come out. Now I polished there for a period of, I worked there for a period of 9 months. Actually, in 9 months, sijui kwani mtoto ndiazaliwa na 9 months, sijui kufanya kazi, nimefanya miezi 9 in so many institutions. I've worked for 9 months. I don't know, I think every time, after every 9 months, mtoto must zaliwa. And it's alright. So I worked there for a period of 9 months. Now, after that period of 9 months, there are some of pressures that every employer, I think, no employee is good to an employer. No, at times our bosses keep us there because they think we don't have anything else to do. We can do nothing else. Okay, there are some of those pressures those that used to come from all over. I won't mention them, but there are those pressures that I couldn't bear. And it was even difficult for me. So at the end of 8th month, I just chose to quit. And to quit in a peaceful way, inasemekana, don't bang the door before you leave, because you might need that door again as you come back. So I didn't want to bang my door, and I chose the mature way of leaving a job. I just scribbled a resignation letter, and I kept it in her office, so that the moment she comes, no, remember, I handle the keys for that that place, starting from the main door, all the doors, I handle the keys. So I scribbled on the letter and kept it to her office, so that the moment she comes in, she will just receive the letter and know my intention of quitting the job. Okay, it wasn't easy for her. She just read the letter and assumed that she has not returned it back to wherever I had kept it. So during the day, that's when she asked me, yeah, Francis, when the uliandika hii? Kamwambia, yeah, I'm the one. Okay, ni sawa. But nikaona hiyo ni sawa, it doesn't come from the heart. But the decision you've already made is a decision that you've already made. And at times there are some of those decisions that can never be overturned. So yeah, it was the end of my reign. So I chose, after a period of that 1 month, at least if there is any question that she would like to ask me regarding my operation, regarding the transparency and anything, I'm free and I'm available. And at the end of the 8th month, that is the end of the 9th month. The resignation letter, remember, I wrote it at the end of the 8th month. So the end of the 9th month, it was the end of my notice. So venye huo mwezi ilisha, actually I remember it was back in 2017 in January. That is 8th January, that's when I ended my job there. I chose to leave. I was really going nowhere. I didn't know where I was going, but I know I was going somewhere. And I was very confident that I was going somewhere. No, in this period of time, I've already polished. At least I have some ideas. I can be in a position to associate some people and tell them I do ABCD. I know how to quote for something, and if you need something like receipt books, I know how to do it. And then to give a quotation, I know how to go about it. And I thank God. I thank God because now I wasn't the same Francis that was looking and begging and doing everything. I was Francis who could stand by himself. Now, as I told you, I didn't leave my friend with any grudge. I didn't leave her with bad intentions. So after leaving the next door, that is my former employer, I went back to my friend Felista, where I stayed there for a period of some time, and she accommodated me well, and I used to kutafuta tukazi huko nje. At least I used to find some connection. Remember, it was back in 2017. Now it's when the campaign started kicking in, and I used to kupatana na some of those people who are starting for a position for like MCA, and I would be connected by those people I used to talk to. Wananiambia kuna MCA fulani anataka t-shirts kuprintiwa, kubradiwa like this one of Steve, and they are printer by the way, and I'm glad. Unasikia wanataka kubradiwa t-shirts, wanataka kufanyiwa kazi kama wanataka kuprintiwa posters and everything. Now remember, I'm from accounting job. Now God is transforming me slowly now from being employed to looking my own thing. I stopped relying on salaries. But I didn't know that is what God is transforming to be, because actually there are some of those people who could approach me wananiuliza whether naweza kuwa the graphic designer, they want to employ me, but I was kind of hesitant. I didn't want to, because I didn't have that mind of being my boss. I was kind of hesitant because at least naona nikitoka nje ninapata tu kazi. I have my own freedom. I can do in my things at my own time. Remember, when you are employed, when you are an employee, you are relying on your boss's time. You are under your boss's schedule. You are supposed to report at work at around 7:30. Everybody must lazima apitie hapo as in kuajiriwa. It's not a fault. Ufike job 7:30, you are supposed to kutoka kazi at around 6:30. That's a schedule that has been set for you. So at this time you are supposed to do this. But remember, when you have your own freedom, unasikia at least you have peace of mind. As in, kuna zile kazi ukifanya, you feel like you want to do more and more. But there are some of those jobs when you are employed, unapata asubuhi na unasikia alarm ikikuita asubuhi, unashanga where you headed. So I used to find, nikijaribu ku get back into times when I used to be employed, at least saizi napata niko na tukazi, niko na freedom ya kufanya mambo zangu. Nilikuwa hesitant to those people who used to approach me, wanataka kuniajiri. So in the meantime, hiyo ni February back in 2017. At least hiyo mwezi nikafanya tukazi, nilikuwa na some savings. There is a shop in the same building. Remember, my former boss, that is the one I gave the resignation letter, is in that floor. There is a certain shop in first floor, the same building. I used to envy so much. Every time I could pass, I used to say, that shop is in a very good position. As in that location, I like that location. I would like God to give me that shop. I prayed for it, yeah. And God, your desires, the hard desires, God fulfills them. So long as it's out of good faith, you don't have any ill motive. One thing I'm sure of, God fulfills the heart desires. I used to envy that shop for a very long period. Actually, that shop stayed for a period of 2 years. while it was still vacant, still written shop for sale, shop for sale. No one was interested in it. So at the end of this period of, that is the month of February back in 2017, I had some savings. Now, I had guts to approach the person who was selling. Remember, in town, there is something they normally call goodwill, but in accounting, that's not goodwill. I don't know what we should call it, because it's not even this. It's not goodwill, never is it is. But let me just call it the way it is usually called, goodwill. Yeah, the understandable, the business term in town, goodwill. The house has goodwill. Because in accounting, goodwill is totally different from whatever is being termed as, whatever is being perceived in town. So there was a goodwill of 150,000. Remember, my savings I cannot reach there, even not quarter of it. Now, I was so confident to meet the person who was selling that shop. I went to him, I approached him, and I talked to him one-on-one. I told him, nataka hiyo shop. We bargained, akaniambia mwisho wake atanipea 130,000. I didn't have that money. Or I think I had a saving of 30,000. Now, nilienda I convinced him. Nikamwambia now, here I only have 30,000. Na hii shop, you normally pay a rent at the end of every month. Instead of paying this rent at the end of every month, and this shop is of no help to you, I would give you this 30,000 cash. Unifungulie shop. You give me a chance to work from there as I look for some more money for you. As I settle the 130,000. The mzee was very glad and he accepted my offer. He opened the shop for me and I started operating. Now from being employed, I own a shop, a space in town. CBD. Sio town, CBD. Along River Road. Remember now, it's not about accounting. Now I have passion for printing, graphic design. So you don't expect me to go and start an accounting firm, I'm an audit firm. I'm from printing, so that's what exactly I'm going to start. I started by now thinking, now remember I've given him my 30,000, I don't have even a single bob. I don't have even anything. I forgot to tell you. In this period where I was being, employed by this former employer, the one who was printing, and this time I was coming to parts from her. I moved from Oyakwe, that is in Waruku, and came to Kasarani, that is at Santon area. That's why I acquired a house. Now from Oyakwe to Thika Road. Now nimetoka kwa nyumba za mabati nimeenda za mawe. Siishi niko kwa nyumba yenye iko na gate. Sasa simetoka kwa zile za mabati. Niko na security, iko na kifungu unafungua gate. Sasa hiyo ndio nilikuwa nimesahau kusema. Now I started the job. But now I have exhausted all the amount that I had. Now where to start? Huu ni mwezi wa 3, the beginning of the 3rd month. Nimelipa hiyo 30,000, sijalipa rent ya huo mwezi. I'm supposed to pay the rent. And then after paying the rent, I'm also supposed to at least, nilikuwa nimeweza kununua ka computer. Hiyo computer inahitaji mahali pa kuwekelewa. I need kameza, nahitaji kiti yenye naweza kalia, yenye customer naweza kuja akae pia. As in, I need to start. Now I have just bought an empty office. It wasn't a walk in the park, and mostly, and before I forgotten something. In that period of time before, that is the after college time and hii time ya kurudi Kenya, ya kuenda Juba na kurudi Kenya, I had a grudge with my parents. And there is one thing you viewers I would like you to know. Hakuna baraka zenye zinatokanga beyond kwa mzazi. There are so many people who are walking out there looking for prayers, looking for someone to pray for them, but shida zao ziko nyumbani. They are at home. Actually the reason they are not, aziko kwa maombi, aziko wapi? Wazazi. wazazi, actually even you, for those who are Christians, if you go get back into the 10 commandments, the first 3 commandments is our relationship with God. The other 7 commandments are how we relate with each other. And the first commandment of the 7 is the parents. And biblically, the parents are our second God. And kenye mzazi atakutajia, it will come to be. Mzazi akikutanjia laana, you will come to be cursed. Mzazi akikutanjia baraka, you will ever remain blessed. I had a grudge with my parents and especially my dad. We used to stay with my dad for a period of even 2 years without saying hello on phone, because of how, as in we were not in good terms at all. Before, and I realized that was the reason as to why I was stomaching hard with no benefits. Wherever I used to go, hakuna manufaa napata. So the time I realized myself and I came back to my senses, I chose to swallow my ego. Irrespective ni yeye alinikosea ama ni mimi nilimkosea, nilichoose kuswallow my ego. And swallowing my ego, nilichukua miguu yangu nikatafuta ile siku yenye my dad anakuanga nyumbani. I chose kwenda kummeet. Remember, this is another battle, and a spiritual battle actually. I'm going to meet to end a war, a long war yenye imekuwa katikati yangu na mzazi. Nataka kuanzia another page of blessing. I've been tamaking kupambana na maisha ngumu, but nataka kufungua another page ya baraka. It's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. So I chose kwenda kummeet, and I bought a nice jacket, as in something, I packed something nice for him, and I chose to meet him. A gift for him. I chose to meet him. Remember, shetani si ati saizi amelala. This one, all these wars have been advocated by the devil for that period of time. And wakati shetani amekushika mateka, that is his joy. Sasa mi nataka kutoka kwa hii mateka, irrespective of how much I'm praying, kuna baraka fulani yangu imeshikiliwa hivi na mzazi. I chose to go and meet him. Wakati nilimmeet, and I realized, okay, that one I'll come to it later. I chose to meet him. Sami, I traveled all the way back to Kirinyaga. Ni ile siku yenye my dad anakujanga home. Kwenda kummeet, ile zawadi yenye nilikuwa nayo. Remember hapa hivi kuna operations za shetani, and shetani, he comes in between you. Anakusukuma, ananisukuma. But sasa if person choose to swallow the pride and the ego, ajaribu ku-approach, hii forces ati bado haiko, iko. Inaweza kuwa inasukuma huko na wewe unajaribu kupull. So as much as you pull, the more the resistance. So ile gift wenye nilipelekea mzazi wangu, my dad na ku-respect sana wherever you are, whether you are going to watch this ama you are not going to watch this, remember wherever you are, me na ku-respect sana. Because I'm whom I am because of you. Nilienda nikampelekea hiyo zawadi. Due to the resistance that was there, my dad didn't accept. He looked into it, akaniuliza hii ni nini? Hiyo kitu ilinivuja because I had prayed for it. I had even fasted for it. Ilinisikia nimevuja, but I was prepared back in my mind as in I'm going to face resistance. So nilimpelekea, akaniuliza hii ni nini? It was bra bra bra. My mom is the one who trying to calm him, and akachukua hiyo zawadi, but hakuwa hata kuifungua. And after that, hiyo jioni nilimfuata, nikaenda nikamwongelesha, nikamwambia mimi nakuja kwako kukuomba msamaha. Tulikuwa si wawili. Remember that is after swallowing my pride. Nikamwambia mimi nimekuja kuomba msamaha, and it's too bad if my future generation wanaweza share the same curse yenye naweza inherit from a parent. Me, I would not like to inherit a curse from the parent. And mi ndio maana nimekuja nikuombe msamaha, unisamehe penye mimi nishaikukosea, na mimi nishakusamehea kwenye ushainikosea. Tafadhali mimi naomba unisamehe. I don't want to inherit a curse, because if I inherit a curse, you don't expect my kid to come inherit any blessing from me. Nitataja baraka kwake, lakini kumbe ni ile rahana tu napitisha. Let me tell you viewers, the want mimi sija kulaani na kuomba uende ubarikiwe na udhereme na you spread as in you become huge. That word I believe ndio ilinipea guts za even resign without my consent. It's a resign from the job that I was talking about. Ndio ilinipea hizo guts. I didn't know, but I came to realize later that's the one that gave me those guts za resign. So I'm telling you, kutoka hiyo siku yenye my dad alitanja baraka in my life has not been the same again. The moment nikakuja, unasikia hii process ya kukuja hapa hivi kufungua kazi, kupata kufezu huyu mzee anaitikia kunifungulia with 30,000 with a balance of 100,000 ndio namtafutia. Anaitikia kunifungulia shop. Ni zile baraka I'm sure of zinanifuata, zinaniandama. So nikakuja, I started from below, unasikia sina kiti, sina anything. Kakazi kadogo kenye nilifanya, nikakimbia Kamukoji, nikanunua kakiti, bao zikaokotwa kwenye ziliokotwa, nikakuja nikaudiwa kameza kadogo. Steve knows where I started from because he has been a good friend of mine for a long time. Nikakuja nikauda kameza and I was proud to have that humble beginning. Nikaanzia from that chini, it has been a journey. It has been a journey, and I thank God saying okay, hiyo time nikakuja nikanunua meza nimenunua. Sasa Nairobi mwezi wa 3 ikifika Kanjo walikuwa wanazunguka, where is your certificate? I don't have a certificate. My certificate needed 10,000. I used to print the license ya operation certificate. I needed 10,000 plus 4,500 ya fire, a total of 14,500. Nikafanya kazi, I did some job, at least I managed to acquire hiyo certificate, and I could broadly open my doors for customers to stream in. Irrespective of how desperate it looked like someone who is moving out the following morning. As in, my tomorrow wasn't so determined. Hata ukicheck in hapo ungekuwa na uoga kuacha deposit yako ya 10,000 because as you look around unaangalia huyu mtu, it's kind of is temporarily here. The following morning you might not find him. But I thank God he didn't bar me from working. 2017 during the campaign time, I am thankful, nashukuru Mungu because I didn't connect mpaka na some aspiring people who are aspiring for MCA positions, some other people who gave me some job. Actually, irrespective of how low I was, that didn't bar God from sitting MCAs to my job. Now remember, now at accounting nimeshaisahau. Now I'm now in another field, a new life, whereby nimeanzia kazi ya printing job. Hiyo ndio kukura, ndio kukunywa, ndio everything. And another thing that it has been a journey. At least easy. I'm growing. I've grown. My shop is big, as in I have acquired so many machines, and I thank God has stood with me. And one thing viewers, I would like to encourage you, wakati tuko kwa shinda tunaombanga vitu mingi sana, and we do promise God so many things. Tunaambia Mungu hatutawahi fanya, hatutawahi kosa, hatutawahi fanya nini. And God, one thing I know is, I don't want to get into his shoe, but kitu moja mimi nimekuja ku experience, God anapendanga someone who keep his promises. Usiambie God utakuwa unafanya tithing alafu you don't tithe. Wewe pesa zako zote ukipata unaweka kwa mfuko. Kama ulipromise God you'll be tithing, and actually tithe do work a lot, kuwa unafanya hivyo. Kama umesema God sitawahi watch mtu akiteseka, mtu mwenye ako na shida, do exactly that, and God will always overflow you with more and more graces. Itakuwa zinaku overflow here. God's graces will be upon you always. It has been a long story, it has been a long journey, but it has been just covered with a short story. And I thank God the far I am, because it hasn't been easy. But another thing that I also like to tell you is that kitu moja, God does not walk with the wicked people. You must walk away from sinful nature, at least ukitaka Mungu na yeye aingilie kwa maisha yako. Just walk away from the sinful nature and at least you'll experience God's blessings. Yeah. So from printing to from accounting to printing, it has been a long journey, but one thing I'm sure of, most of us huwa tunasoma tunajipata tumefanya certain careers, we have studied hand and ventured, spent a lot of time in certain careers, spent even a lot of money in certain field, of which we finally find ourselves in totally different fields. Merely because, number one, there was no information, we were not informed. Number two, nature can drive us to where it would like us be, because at times tunaweza plan, our plans are totally different from God's plan. Wewe unataka kukua president, ama unataka kukua, suppose unataka kukua doctor, kumbe God anataka kukudirect kukua president. That's just an example. Another kukua president. So you might find yourself umesomea kitu fulani, but at the end of it all you find yourself in a totally different career, in a different field.
So Francis, right now, what do you print?
Right now I do print. Actually, I'm a jack of all trades right now. I do printing of receipt books, I do print banners, stickers, flyers, business cards, brochures, guo kama hizi, kofia, I do also print them, reflectors, anything that you think can be printed, they can be done at my place.
Even the cups, plates? Even the cups,
the mugs, those if you want to surprise your loved ones with a mug, that is hiyo kikombe, ikiwa na picha yake ama maandishi, any writings, I can customize any mug, as in not any mug, there are those brandable mugs, you can customize that mug, easy water bottles, traveling mugs, yeah, those things I do print.
Vehicles?
Vehicles I can print, especially this time of camp. We are heading towards the time of campaign. Actually, we have already started branding those things, like printing those things like posters, small posters. Some of the MCAs and MPs who are aspiring to be our next MPs and MCAs are selling their agendas. They are printing those reflector jackets to give border people. They are also printing those flyers. They give away flyers, and yeah. Those are some of the jobs that I do.
Watu wakitaka kukupata, wanaweza kupata aje?
If you'd like to find me, you go to Facebook page. I have my name on Facebook. I'm called Francis Wajero. Francis Wajero. Those are three different names. Francis Wajero. I have my Facebook page for the business, which is called Smart Tech Graphics and Printers. You can also find us on Google Map. We are on River Road. Go and onto your Google, search Smart Tech Graphics and Printers. Smart Tech Graphics and Printers, it will direct you to our shop, wherever you are located. Okay. Yeah. And also, if you would like to reach me, I can give you my number. My number is 0724 273 574. 0724 273 574. Alternatively, I have the office number, which is 020 2100 164. 020 2100 164. As you visit my page, don't forget to like my page and leave a comment.
Thank you, Francis, for your time. We appreciate the information that you have given to us and to enlighten. Some of us will get some ideas. Some of us will get some courage to do something new, to venture in new things. Don't just stay at home and say, I have applied for jobs, now I'm waiting for interviews. Walk outside there. You can join someone. You see Francis, like he started like selling gumus, cooking chips. He just quite studied some money to start off that business. Don't stay at home and say that you are waiting for jobs to come or you are waiting for interviews to come. Yeah, go get started and go somewhere. Yeah, thank you very much, Francis.
I am also grateful for being your first interviewee, as in thank you for hosting me, and I'm very grateful. Thank you and bye-bye, viewers.
Guys, that was all for today. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe, comment, and
Share.
share. Bye. See you next time.